Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about heredity in organisms and evolution. Today is the last lecture, lecture 4 of chapter 12. So in this lecture we are going to know mainly about evolution, origin of life on earth, about chemical and organic evolution, about Darwinism and some theories related to that, some natural truths, what are the reasons for origin of species, all this. So first we have to know about the idea of evolution. Scientists thought previously that this earth, it is not changeable. The size and shape, it is not changed. But after some discovery, after discovery of fossils by Xenophon in 5th century before the birth of Christ, then scientists came to an idea that this earth, it is changed a lot. It is not nowadays the condition, the situation, size, shape, different characteristics of earth, it is not like before. Several years ago the earth was on one condition, and nowadays in present situation it is in another condition. Also the organisms, plants and animals prevail in this earth, they are also changed. So nowadays we can see that there are several lakhs of plants and animal species so far have been named or identified, and in between these plant and animal species there are changes. That means the organisms, the plants and animals that prevailed in the previous world, all of them, they do not exist in this world right now. Some of them have been changed, some new organisms, they have been originated. So totally the earth and its organisms altogether, totally it is changed from the previous condition. Scientists and Greek philosopher Aristotle in 4th century before the birth of Christ told that organisms, each and every organism, they are changed from one another, and one organism, it is a little bit advanced from another organism, and these advanced organisms, they are originated from their ancestors. But after a slow and continuous process of evolution, they are evolved, their characteristics are changed, and so the new advanced type of organisms, they have been created. We have to know about how life has been originated, and before that we have to know what was the previous condition of the earth. Scientists think that around 450 crore years before, this earth, it is originated from sun, and it was in gaseous condition, and after that gradually it became cool. It radiated heat and it became cool. So when radiation occurred, then gradually the outer part of earth, it became cool, and then because of water vapor, cloud was created, raining was done, and then the water surface, liquid surface, it was created. Oceans were created on the outer surface of earth, and in this ocean first life was originated. So this evolution, it is a Latin word. Evolvere, it's a Latin word, and evolution, this word was first used by Herbert Spencer. And evolution, by evolution, we can see evolution like this way, that this is a slow and continuous process through which from simple and lower type of organism, gradually from simple and lower type of organism, advanced and complex type of organisms are produced. But sometimes it is seen that always evolution, it is not occurred in a slow process. Sometimes because of different environmental condition, it may occur rapidly because of other conditions also, and sometimes it is seen that the organisms, they are from complex they have to come to a state of simple condition. Like in Mexican cave fish, previously they were born on the outer surface of water, but after that they started to live in a cave in the deep sea, deep ocean. So because of that, when they started to live in the cave in dark, there was no light, so they they have lost their eyesight. So here we can see that in this example, the gradually from complex type of organism, it turned into a simple type of life form. So that's why nowadays evolution, it is defined in the term of allele. Okay, what is allele? Genes, they are modified. There are different forms of genes which is known as allele. So we can, the modern definition of evolution, we can say like this way, which was defined by Curtis Burns. It is said that change of allele frequency of same or related species. Change of allele frequency of same or related species at a particular area from generation to generation is evolution. Suppose in Sundarban there is Royal Bengal tiger. So if all the genes and their total alleles, they are counted, estimated, calculated, and it is observed, is recorded, and after few years, if again the number of genes of Royal Bengal tiger, their alleles, they are counted, then if it is seen that, and then these two data they are compared, and if it is seen that there is change in this allele number, that will be the change of population of that Royal Bengal tiger in Sundarban area. So that means evolution has been done. Okay, so this is about idea of evolution. Now we have to know how life has been originated on Earth, where life has been originated. Scientists, all the scientists, they have different ideas about origin of life, but all the scientists think that life has been originated in the ocean. And there are some evidences also. In the ocean, there is a more amount of salt. Like in the body of living organism, in the blood, in the cells, living cells, and in other liquids present, there is also presence of different salts, which is similar to the ocean. Secondly, in the ocean, nowadays also we can see simple and unicellular type of organism. So scientists think, and there are some evidences also, that life has been originated first in the ocean. Now how this life has been originated? This life, scientists think that 260 crore years before, in this environment there was full of gases like nitrogen, carbon dioxide, methane, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide. These gases were present, but there were no oxygen then. So because of different phenomenon like thunder, then volcanic eruption, then presence of ultraviolet ray, these gases, their reaction occurred, and then amino acid and nucleic acid was produced. So from these amino acid and nucleic acid, later on nucleoprotein was produced. And this nucleoprotein, gradually nucleoprotein, it has ability of replication. So from this chemical evolution, it is started. And organic evolution means gradually, and this is not only the thought of the scientist. In laboratory it is also experimented, and it is seen that artificially these compounds, nucleic acid and amino acid, this can be produced artificially. Okay, now we have to know what organic evolution is. I told you before, amino acid and nucleic acid combinedly forms nucleoprotein. So from nucleoprotein, first protovirus was produced. Then from protovirus, virus was produced. Virus is, all of you know, virus is known as the connection between living and non-living. From virus, later on bacteria was produced. Bacteria came. So bacteria is unicellular, and from bacteria protozoa came. These protozoa, from protozoa, from unicellular to multicellular, organisms later on created. But in this unicellular organism, later on chlorophyll was produced. Chlorophyll was produced, then gradually in the environment, photosynthetic organisms, number of photosynthetic organisms, their number became more, because when chlorophyll was produced, then gradually they could the organisms could do photosynthesis. The production of food was done in one way. Another way, as byproduct, oxygen was produced. So gradually there was amount of more oxygen in the nature. So aerobic organism, their number was more in the environment. After that, unicellular to multicellular, and gradually plants and animals, in two ways this evolution process was started. But evolution, it is not done in a linear way, in straight line way. Always it will occur in complex way. There are different branches occur. So thus evolution it is started. Origin of life is started. Now we have to know about contribution of another important scientist, Darwin, Charles Robert Darwin, and British naturalist. He was born in Shrewsbury of England, and he visited Galapagos Island of Pacific Ocean, and over there in that island he was very much surprised to see the amazing characteristics of different diverse plants and animals. And these diverse plants and animals, he saw that there are so much variations present, and he collected all the informations, all of these diverse plant and animal kingdom, and all these informations he collected and recorded. And when he returned to England after 20 years of his returning, he published a book named it is named as Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection. And this book, it is considered as it is very important in case of evolution. So Darwin, he didn't discover the evolution, because before the birth of Christ the scientists, they knew about evolution, but actually he discovered one kind of mechanism, and through which the reasons of evolution, it can be explained by different scientific processes, by different methods or different data. This mechanism of evolution, it can be explained. And at the same time of Darwin, Alfred Russel Wallace, another scientist, he also gave such an idea about this origin of species, about evolution on Earth. And this Alfred Russel Wallace, the contribution of him, it is not that much well known as the theory of evolution by Darwin. It is very much well known to all scientists, to all the people of the world. Now Darwin saw that in the nature there are some phenomena seen. What are these phenomena? Number one, overpopulation rate. Overpopulation rate, each and every organism, their population rate is so much high. Such as from one mustard plant, in 1 year there are 7,30,000 seeds produced. So from only one mustard plant, in 1 year 7,30,000 seeds can be produced. If all of them could germinate and produce new plant, then what would happen to this world? With one species, the whole world would be occupied. For example, there is another example: female salmon fish during the reproduction period, it lays 3 crores of eggs, but not all of them they are survived, because of different factors present. So each and every organism, it has higher population rate. Okay, so there another thing, another phenomenon, another truth which is observed in the nature, that is limited food and habitat. That for all the organisms, for all the species, there is not sufficient amount of food or habitat, because always there is limitation, because as the rate of population is very much higher. Thirdly, in the nature, struggle for existence is seen. Struggle for existence, it can be explained in 3 ways. It may be of 3 types. One is intraspecific, another is interspecific, Another is struggle for environment, struggle with the environment. So let us first discuss about interspecific struggle. So what does it mean by interspecific struggle? In the nature we can see that there is food chain relation present in between different organisms, like frog or toad, they take insects as their food, then snake, they take frogs as food. So naturally there is a close food chain relationship present in between different organisms present in this world. Because of this, always there is struggle for existence for each and every living organism. That is known as interspecific. In between the species, the type of struggle that is present. Another type of struggle that is present, that is known as intraspecific. One is inter, that means in between. Another is intra species struggle for existence. That is meant by that existence struggle present in between the same organism. That means as the population rate is higher, so what will be seen in the same organism, there is overpopulation rate, and there is limited food and limited habitat. So always there is a competition present in between them. So over there, when the organisms which are very much strong enough, they can survive in this world. So the weak organisms, weak species, they cannot survive. So this struggle, it is present in between the same species. With different factors, there is competition present in between them. Because of food deficiency, because of water deficiency, because of habitat, there is limited habitat. Another type of struggle which we can see in the nature, that is struggle with environment. There are different types of natural calamities occur in the environment, such as volcanic eruption, then earthquake, then floods, drought, salinity, different other types of environmental situation, adverse environmental situation may occur in nature. So because of which organisms which can survive in this extreme environmental condition, they can prevail in this environment, they can exist in this environment. But if they cannot adapt with the change environmental condition, with the adverse environmental condition, they cannot survive. So these are the some phenomena which we can see, which was explained by Darwin in the nature. Another thing is variety or change in living organism. In this world, in each and every species, there are several organisms, many organisms there, but two of the organisms of same species, they will not be of same type. There will be little bit difference, same exactly they will not be of same type. So because of these differences, there is variation seen among the living organisms, among the same species. So there is a change seen, the different types of varieties are seen because of mutation, because of other reasons. Now next point, which is very important, that is natural selection. What natural selection is? I told you before that there are different varieties in the same species. So when there are difference in the characteristics of the living organisms, when they can adapt with the environment, then they can survive in the nature. That means nature selects them, or they are fit for that environmental condition. So this is natural selection process. That means the organisms which show variation, which can adapt with adverse environmental condition, which can adapt with the change in environmental condition, they can survive in the environment, in the nature. So nature selects them, or in other words, we can say they are fit for the environment. So that is the process of natural selection. Next, origin of new species. This is actually interrelated. Whenever the organisms, they are selected by nature, when they can adapt themselves with the new environment, then new species can be originated. So this origin of new species, it may occur by following three ways. Mainly. One is isolation from main species. So if variation is extreme, that means when they are so much isolated from their main species, then because of that new species can be produced. This isolation, it may be because of different reasons, like geographical isolation. If the same species, they live in different geographical condition, then this isolation can be done, and so there will be variation, there will be difference in their characteristics, and then there will be formation of new species. That is one reason. Another reason is hybridization. Through artificial reproduction process or hybridization, new type of species can be produced. So this is another method. And thirdly, when during artificial reproduction process or hybridization, during cell division, when chromosome number is changed, chromosome number, that means polyploidy, when it is created, then they are changed, they are with changed characteristics, they can adapt themselves with the environment, and then new species can be originated. Now the last topics of this chapter, that is importance of evolution in the survival of species. So far I told about the process of origin of species, how these organisms, they show variety among themselves, they show variations among themselves, and because of the variations, when they can adapt with the changing environment, they can adapt with the nature, then there is variation seen, then there is evolution occur, new origin of new species occur. So all these are not only theoretical, but also in the laboratory it is experimented, and there is no evidence that we can deny evolution. So evolution, it is occurring not only not in a straight line, but it is occurring in a complex method. There are different branches are there, and this existence of evolution, it can be proved by it is proved by different scientists. So from today's lecture, we have learned about in general idea about origin of life on Earth, about organic evolution, about chemical evolution, where life has been originated first, what was the previous condition of the earth before, about little information about evolution, how evolution occurred, then about some natural phenomena that occur in the earth: overpopulation rate, limited food and habitat, and struggle for existence, about variety, about origin, natural selection, origin of species, and lastly, importance of evolution in the natural environment, in the origin of species. So I hope today's lecture will help you a lot to understand about the evolution process of organisms. And this was the last lecture of this chapter. So I hope all of you will stay fine, and all of you Eid Mubarak.